Should you play Super Mario RPG even if you've never played the original? What is up guys, my name is Chase and Super Mario RPG is the latest Mario game available for the Nintendo Switch. And in case you didn't know, this is a remake of the original Super Mario RPG released on the Super Nintendo in 1996. So if you're like me and you've never played the original game before, you might be wondering, is it worth picking up Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch? Well, in this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the good and bad of Super Mario RPG as a complete noob. The first thing that I feel like we need to talk about with Super Mario RPG on the Switch is the graphics. Holy freaking cannoli, the graphics in Super Mario RPG for the Switch are just incredible. They did an amazing job completely remaking the old Super Nintendo 16-bit graphics and bringing it over to modern times. In a day and age where I feel like every game is going for this like HD 2D type of art style like Octopath Traveler, it's really nice that they didn't just settle with that, they went ahead and just completely redid the graphics. Maybe that might be a good or bad thing if you want like the original graphics of Super Mario RPG. For me personally, the graphics in this game just blew me away. I feel like this game really excels at showing just how good Mario can look with up-to-date and present-day hardware. Not only does all of the top-down and like sort of exploration graphics look great, but they also went ahead and added cutscenes into this game, and they just look really beautiful. There's this new triple move mechanic, which is basically an ult with the 3 characters in your party, and depending on which characters you currently have in your party, there is a completely unique cutscene to go along with it. I can maybe see these cutscenes getting a bit old after a while, but for now, where I currently am in the game, I just think it's so beautiful and really charming. Next up, let's talk about the stories and characters of Super Mario RPG. I think Super Mario RPG offers a very different and original story. I mean, looking back at the history of this game, it was released on the Super Nintendo, so the most we probably knew about Mario was having to do with Super Mario World at the time, and with Square Enix developing this game, it makes sense that the story is kind of out there. I also think this story does a really good job at giving the Mario characters some background and extra depth. This might be somewhat spoilers depending on how much you know about this game. I will say, since it is literally on the cover of this game, there's a really cool thing where Bowser actually joins your party. Basically, Bowser and Mario have to set aside their differences and try to fight for the greater good. Even Princess Peach ends up joining your party, which is really cool because it's one of the few times when Peach isn't the damsel in distress, and she's no longer just being completely hopeless. Along with all of the Mario characters that we know and love, there are also some new characters introduced through the story. So far with my progress in the game, I feel like some of the characters fit in a bit better than others. For example, I feel like Malo could be a really great just regular Mario character. But I'm not gonna lie, especially with Square making this game, there are some characters that I almost feel like would fit more in something like Final Fantasy. But it's not like it completely ruins the story or anything, I just thought it's a very interesting addition to the Mario universe. So with the story and characters in Super Mario RPG, it's very different and in some cases even kind of weird, but I think that does a really great job at actually making this game feel unique. Now with all of that being said, what about the actual gameplay of Super Mario RPG? I feel like if you're watching this video, you probably know by now whether or not you like RPGs, and with this game being released in 1996, it is very much your traditional turn-based RPG. I will say that the addition of Mario characters makes it a lot more appealing, especially for me since I'm this guy's biggest fan. So with all of the enemy encounters and the turn-based combat, I've generally been having a pretty good time with that. I should also mention that something really cool with Super Mario RPG is that there is actually a breezy mode, which is a lot more beginner friendly. Not gonna lie, I have been playing this game on breezy mode, but hey, I'm proud of it. So that's very nice, especially if you aren't super into RPGs. There are even some mini games scattered throughout, which can be like a fun little break from the story and the turn-based combat. Now with this being a remake of a Super Nintendo game from 27 years ago, I did also have have to question how well this game would age all of these years later. From what I hear, this is a pretty short game, especially compared to RPGs nowadays. I would honestly say that there are some gameplay elements that I don't think have aged super duper well. For example, buying items or clothing. The descriptions can feel a bit empty and sometimes you're not sure exactly what the item does. It can also become a bit difficult to remember or figure out what to do or where to go. With some of the hints, they can feel a bit too basic. It also lacks compared to the Paper Mario games where you usually have a companion character to give you hints through dialogue. In Super Mario RPG, you'll just get like the same 1 or 2 hints and that's all. And maybe those are just little nitpicks about this game. It definitely doesn't ruin it or anything. I will say that I absolutely love the fact that they kept a lot of the sound effects from the original game in this remake. I thought that was really funny to hear all of those like classic sound effects. Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch is a very worthy remake of the original Super Nintendo game. I think they did a masterful job at bringing over this old game over to the current consoles. Huge props specifically to the graphics department. I think this game really shines. And it also features a very different and unique story that I think gives these Mario characters who we've known for so long a lot more depth. So I'm really excited to continue playing this game for the first time ever. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch? If you want to hear me talk about another recent Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, check out the video below. For now, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chase and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!